What you do before the world wakes up decides who you become. Introduction.
Hi, this is Dr. Julian Vance, and what you're about to hear is not just advice. It's a wake-up call. Most people stumble into their mornings. They hit snooze, check their phones, and let the day control them. But the great ones, they rise with purpose. This book is your blueprint. 7 habits, backed by science, and lived by the world's most disciplined minds. Habits that shift your energy, sharpen your mind, and build unshakable momentum. This isn't motivation. It's transformation. And it starts with how you open your eyes. Your future begins before the world even wakes up. Let's begin. Chapter 1. When the first battle, wake up early. The alarm screams at 5:30 a.m., and your first instinct is to hit snooze. In that moment, you face the first battle of your day, and how you respond will determine whether you become the architect of your life or remain its victim. Most people lose this battle before they even realize they're fighting it, surrendering their most precious resource, time. But what if I told you that winning this single battle could transform every aspect of your existence? The world operates on a simple principle. Those who wake up early don't just get more hours in their day, they get better hours. While the majority sleeps, early risers claim the golden hours when their minds are sharpest, their willpower strongest, and their potential unlimited. This isn't about becoming someone you're not. It's about becoming who you've always been capable of being. Let's destroy the most destructive lie you've ever told yourself. I'm not a morning person. This phrase has become the ultimate excuse, a get-out-of-jail-free card that people use to justify mediocrity. But here's the truth that no one wants to hear. There are no morning people or night people. Only people who have trained themselves to excel at different times. Your circadian rhythm isn't a prison sentence. It's a habit pattern that can be rewritten with intention and consistency. Think about the most successful people you know or admire. Whether they're entrepreneurs, athletes, artists, or leaders, the vast majority share one common trait. They wake up early. This isn't coincidence, it's strategy. They understand that the morning hours offer something that no other time of day can provide. Complete control over your environment and your mind. When you wake up before the world demands your attention, you create a sacred space where your goals take priority over everyone else's emergencies. The science behind early rising reveals why this practice is so transformative. During the early morning hours, your cortisol levels naturally peak, giving you enhanced focus and energy. Your willpower is at its strongest because you haven't yet depleted it through decision-making and daily stresses. Most importantly, your mind operates in what psychologists call the alpha state, a condition of relaxed alertness that's optimal for creativity, learning, and problem-solving. When you waste these precious hours sleeping, you're literally throwing away your daily dose of superhuman potential. But waking up early isn't just about biology, it's about psychology. Every morning, you face a choice that defines your character, comfort or growth. The snooze button represents everything that's wrong with modern life. The prioritization of momentary pleasure over long-term success, the choice of ease over excellence. When you hit snooze, you're not just delaying your wake-up time. You're programming your subconscious mind with a message that your commitments to yourself are negotiable. You're training yourself to break promises to the most important person in your life, you. Consider what happens in your life when you consistently wake up late. You start every day in reactive mode, rushing to catch up with time that's already slipping away. You skip breakfast or grab something unhealthy, setting yourself up for energy crashes and poor decision-making. You arrive at work stressed and scattered, already behind before you've even begun. Your entire day becomes a series of reactions rather than deliberate actions. This isn't living, it's surviving. Now imagine the alternative. You wake up at 5:30 a.m., not because you have to, but because you choose to. The house is quiet, the world is still, and for the first time in 24 hours, you have complete control over your environment. You use this time to invest in yourself, perhaps through exercise, meditation, reading, or working on a personal project. You eat a nutritious breakfast mindfully, rather than wolfing down processed food in your car. You arrive at work calm, prepared, and ahead of schedule. Your day unfolds according to your plan, not according to the chaos around you. The transformation that occurs when you master the morning extends far beyond productivity. Early rising builds discipline, and discipline is the bridge between goals and accomplishment. Every morning that you choose growth over comfort, you strengthen your character. You prove to yourself that you can keep commitments, overcome resistance, and prioritize long-term benefits over short-term pleasure. This self-trust becomes the foundation for every other positive change you want to make in your life. Many people resist early rising because they believe it requires sacrifice, less sleep, less fun, less spontaneity. But this thinking is backwards. Early rising doesn't require sacrifice. It eliminates the need for it. When you wake up early, you create extra time that allows you to pursue both your responsibilities and your passions. You can exercise without cutting into family time, work on personal projects without sacrificing social relationships, and pursue learning without staying up late. Early rising doesn't limit your life, it expands it. Your evening routine is equally crucial to your morning success. You cannot expect to wake up refreshed at 5:30 a.m. if you're scrolling through social media until midnight. The discipline of early rising begins the night before, with the decision to prioritize tomorrow's potential over tonight's entertainment. This means establishing a consistent bedtime, creating a technology-free buffer before sleep, and preparing your environment for morning success. Lay out your workout clothes, prepare your breakfast ingredients, and eliminate any obstacles that might tempt you to stay in bed. The first few weeks of early rising will test your commitment. Your body will resist. Your mind will create elaborate justifications for sleeping in, and you'll question whether this change is worth the discomfort. This is normal and expected. Every significant transformation requires moving through discomfort, and early rising is no exception. The key is to understand that this discomfort is temporary, while the benefits are permanent. Push through the initial resistance, and you'll discover that waking up early becomes not just a habit, but a source of pride and energy. Remember that perfection isn't the goal. Consistency is. You don't need to wake up at 5:30 a.m. every single day for the rest of your life. You need to wake up early consistently enough to establish the pattern and experience the benefits. If you sleep in occasionally, don't use it as an excuse to abandon the practice entirely. Instead, view it as valuable data about what conditions support your success and what conditions undermine it. The compound effect of early rising cannot be overstated. Those extra hours each morning add up to entire days over the course of a month and entire weeks over the course of a year. More importantly, the discipline you build through early rising spreads to every other area of your life. When you prove to yourself that you can win the first battle of the day, you develop the confidence and momentum to win the battles that follow. This is your invitation to reclaim your power starting tomorrow morning. Set your alarm for 5:30 a.m., not because you have to, but because you're ready to stop making excuses and start making progress. Your future self is waiting for you in those quiet morning hours, ready to help you build the life you've always dreamed of. The only question is, will you show up? The battle for your life begins with the battle for your morning. Win the morning, and you've already won the day. Win enough days, and you'll win your life. It's that simple, and it starts tomorrow when your alarm goes off. This time, don't hit snooze. Hit the ground running and never look back. Chapter 2, Silence and Stillness. Start with mindfulness. The first moments of consciousness each morning present us with a profound choice that will ripple through every subsequent hour of our day. We can either immediately surrender our mental space to the chaos of notifications, news, and the endless stream of external demands, or we can claim these precious minutes for ourselves, creating a sanctuary of silence that becomes the foundation upon which our entire day is built. This choice, seemingly small in the moment, carries the weight of our mental health, emotional stability, and spiritual well-being. When we choose silence and stillness as our morning companions, we are not simply adding another task to our routine. We are fundamentally restructuring our relationship with consciousness itself, teaching our minds that peace is not something we must frantically search for throughout the day, but rather something we can cultivate and carry with us from the very first breath we take upon waking. The science behind morning mindfulness reveals why this practice has been revered across cultures and centuries. When we wake, our brains naturally exist in what researchers call the alpha wave state, a neurological sweet spot characterized by relaxed awareness and heightened receptivity. This state, which typically lasts only a few precious minutes after awakening, represents a window of extraordinary potential for mental conditioning and emotional programming. During these moments, our prefrontal cortex, the brain region responsible for executive function and emotional regulation, is particularly malleable and responsive to intentional cultivation. By immediately engaging with our phones, rushing into our daily tasks, or flooding our mind with information, we essentially hijack this natural state of receptive calm and thrust our nervous systems into a heightened state of arousal that can persist throughout the entire day. However, when we honor this natural window with silence and stillness, we extend and deepen this beneficial brain state, literally rewiring our neural pathways to default toward peace rather than anxiety, presence rather than distraction, an intentional response rather than reactive behavior. The practice of morning silence begins before you even open your eyes. As consciousness slowly returns and you become aware of your body resting in bed, resist the immediate urge to spring into action or reach for your phone. Instead, allow yourself to simply exist in this liminal space between sleep and full wakefulness, feeling the weight of your body against the mattress, noticing the rhythm of your breath, and acknowledging the miracle of another day beginning. This transition period, often rushed and overlooked, is actually a profound opportunity to set the energetic tone for everything that follows. Place one hand on your chest and another on your belly, feeling the gentle rise and fall of your breath, and begin to stretch this moment of stillness from seconds into minutes. Notice how your body feels, what emotions are present, and what thoughts arise without immediately judging or trying to fix anything. This simple act of conscious awakening transforms what is typically an unconscious transition into a deliberate practice of presence, teaching your nervous system that you are in control of how you meet each new day. Creating your morning sanctuary of silence requires both intention and preparation, beginning the night before with the establishment of boundaries that protect your morning peace. This means charging your phone outside the bedroom, or, at minimum, keeping it in airplane mode until after your morning practice is complete. The bedroom should be prepared as a temple of rest and awakening, free from the intrusive glow of screens and the anxiety-inducing pull of digital connectivity. Consider the lighting in your space, perhaps investing in blackout curtains that allow you to control the gradual introduction of light, or a sunrise alarm clock that mimics the natural progression from darkness to dawn. The temperature should be slightly cool, as this supports both quality sleep and alert wakefulness, while any sound should be either naturally occurring or intentionally chosen to support your practice, such as gentle nature sounds or complete silence. Some practitioners find that preparing a special cushion or designated space for their morning practice the night before creates a visual anchor that reinforces their commitment to this sacred time, while others prefer the simplicity of remaining in bed, using their pillow and blankets as the foundation for their practice. The breath becomes your primary teacher in these moments of morning stillness, offering a direct pathway into present moment awareness, while simultaneously calming your nervous system and preparing your mind for the day ahead. Begin with natural, unforced breathing, simply observing the automatic rhythm that has sustained you through the night and will carry you through the day to come. Notice the cool air entering through your nostrils, the brief pause at the top of the inhale, the warm air flowing out, and the gentle pause before the next breath begins. This simple observation of your natural breath pattern immediately anchors your attention in the present moment, pulling you away from any lingering drowsiness or anticipatory anxiety about the day ahead. As you become more comfortable with this basic awareness, you can begin to deepen and slow your breathing, allowing each inhale to fill your belly first, then your ribs, and finally your chest, creating a wave-like motion that naturally calms your nervous system. The exhale can become equally conscious, releasing not just the physical breath, but any tension, worry, or mental clutter that may have accumulated from the previous day or the coming responsibilities. Meditation in the morning requires no special equipment, extensive training, or perfect conditions. It requires only your willingness to sit with yourself in genuine presence and acceptance. If you're new to meditation, begin with just 5 minutes of simple breath awareness, gradually extending this time as your capacity for stillness grows. Sit comfortably, either on the edge of your bed, on a cushion on the floor, or in a chair with your feet flat on the ground, maintaining an upright posture that is both alert and relaxed. Close your eyes or soften your gaze toward the floor and bring your attention to the sensations of breathing. When your mind wanders, as it inevitably will, simply notice where it has gone without judgment or frustration and gently return your attention to your breath. This process of noticing distraction and returning to the present is not a failure of meditation. It is meditation. Each time you recognize that your mind has wandered and consciously choose to return to your breath, you are strengthening your capacity for presence and training your attention like a muscle that becomes stronger with consistent use. For those who find traditional seated meditation challenging, walking meditation offers an equally powerful alternative that can be practiced indoors or in nature, depending on your living situation and preferences. Begin by standing still, feeling your feet in contact with the ground and your body's relationship to gravity and space. Take a few conscious breaths, then begin walking at a pace that is noticeably slower than your normal walking speed, bringing full attention to the physical sensations of each step. Feel your foot lifting from the ground, moving through space, and making contact with the earth again. Notice the subtle shifts in balance, the engagement of different muscle groups, and the rhythm that naturally emerges. The profound benefits of morning silence extend far beyond the practice itself, creating a ripple effect that influences every aspect of your daily experience and long-term well-being. Research consistently demonstrates that regular morning meditation reduces cortisol levels, the primary stress hormone that, when chronically elevated, contributes to anxiety, depression, compromised immune function, and numerous other health issues. By beginning each day with intentional stillness, you literally change your baseline stress response, training your nervous system to operate from a place of calm alertness rather than chronic activation. This shift affects not only how you feel internally, but also how you show up in your relationships, your work, and your interactions with unexpected challenges throughout the day. People who maintain consistent morning mindfulness practices report greater emotional stability, improved focus and productivity, enhanced creativity, and a deeper sense of connection to their authentic selves and life purpose. The mental clarity that emerges from morning silence creates space for authentic priorities to surface, allowing you to approach your day with intention rather than simply reacting to whatever demands the loudest attention. In the quiet space of morning mindfulness, you often find that the things you thought were urgent reveal themselves to be less important than you believed, while deeper values and genuine priorities emerge with crystal clarity. This discernment, cultivated in the stillness of early morning, becomes a compass that guides your choices throughout the day, helping you say yes to what truly matters and no to what merely fills time or feeds ego. Many practitioners discover that their most creative insights, important realizations, and problem-solving breakthroughs arise during these quiet morning moments, when the analytical mind is still soft and the intuitive wisdom has space to be heard. Building a sustainable morning silence practice requires patience, self-compassion, and a willingness to begin again each day without judgment about yesterday's success or failure. Start with a commitment you can realistically maintain, even if that means just 3 minutes of conscious breathing before getting out of bed. Consistency matters more than duration, and a brief daily practice will yield more benefits than occasional longer sessions. Notice the resistance that may arise, the voices in your head that insist you don't have time, that meditation is selfish, or that you're not doing it right. These thoughts are normal and universal. Acknowledge them without believing them or allowing them to derail your commitment. Some mornings will feel peaceful and transcendent, while others may feel restless or distracted, and both experiences are valuable parts of the practice. The goal is not to achieve a particular state of mind, but to cultivate a consistent relationship with presence, awareness, and inner stillness that becomes an unshakable foundation for navigating whatever life brings your way. As your morning practice deepens and matures, you may find that the silence begins to extend naturally into other parts of your day, creating pockets of peace and presence that serve as reset buttons amid life's inevitable chaos and demands. The inner stillness you cultivate each morning becomes a resource you can access throughout the day, a remembered state of peace that you can return to with just a few conscious breaths or a moment of mindful awareness. This is the true gift of morning silence, not just 20 minutes of peace at the beginning of each day, but the gradual transformation of your entire relationship with consciousness, stress, and the present moment, creating a life that is lived from the inside out rather than at the mercy of external circumstances and endless distractions that Reessayer Claude put fair to errors. Assurez-vous de vérifier ces réponses. Chapter 3. Move your body. The moment your feet hit the floor each morning, you have the power to unlock a cascade of energy that will fuel your entire day. And it all begins with one simple yet transformative decision: to move your body. Whether it's gentle stretching that awakens your muscle from their overnight rest, a brisk walk that fills your lungs with fresh air, or an intense workout that challenges every fiber of your being, movement is the master key that unlocks your body's natural pharmacy of feel-good chemicals, particularly dopamine, the neurotransmitter responsible for motivation, focus, and that incredible sense of accomplishment that carries you through your day. The science behind morning movement is both fascinating and compelling. When you engage in physical activity within the first hour of waking, you're essentially programming your nervous system for success, triggering a biological response that elevates your heart rate, increases blood flow to your brain, and initiates the release of endorphins and dopamine that create a natural high lasting hours beyond your workout. Start with the 5-minute rule. Commit to just 5 minutes of movement each morning, because consistency trumps intensity every time. And once you begin moving, momentum naturally carries you forward, often extending that 5 minutes into 10, 15, or even 30 minutes of energizing activity. The beauty of morning movement lies not just in its immediate effects, but in its ability to create a positive feedback loop that transforms your entire relationship with your body and energy levels throughout the day. Consider Sarah, a busy executive who struggled with afternoon energy crashes until she discovered the power of morning stretching. She began with simple neck rolls and shoulder shrugs while her coffee brewed, gradually incorporating sun salutations and gentle spinal twists, and within weeks noticed her energy remained stable throughout even the most demanding workdays. Her mood improved dramatically, and she found herself naturally craving healthier foods and better sleep. Trick: Use the movement stack method. Attach your morning movement to an existing habit like brushing your teeth or drinking your first glass of water. Because when you link new behaviors to established routines, you create neural pathways that make the new habit feel automatic and effortless. The physiological transformation that occurs during morning movement is nothing short of remarkable. Your body temperature rises, signaling to your circadian rhythm that it's time to be alert and active. Your metabolism increases and remains elevated for hours afterward through a phenomenon called excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. Your muscles release myokines, which are proteins that act as natural antidepressants and cognitive enhancers, and your cardiovascular system receives a wake-up call that improves circulation and delivers oxygen-rich blood to every cell in your body. For those new to morning movement, stretching serves as the perfect gateway habit, requiring no equipment, minimal space, and offering immediate relief from the stiffness and tension that accumulates during sleep. Tip: focus on the big four stretches: cat-cow poses for spinal mobility, hip circles for lower body activation, arm circles and shoulder rolls for upper body awakening, and gentle neck stretches to release overnight tension, holding each stretch for 30 seconds while breathing deeply and mindfully. The psychological benefits of starting your day with intentional movement extend far beyond the physical realm, creating a sense of personal agency and accomplishment that psychologists call behavioral activation, where completing one positive action early in the day increases your likelihood of making other beneficial choices throughout the day. Walking, perhaps the most underrated form of morning movement, offers unique advantages that make it accessible to virtually everyone regardless of fitness level, age, or physical limitations. Trick: make it a sensory walk. Instead of rushing through your morning walk while mentally rehearsing your to-do list, engage all five senses by noticing the colors of the sky, the sounds of birds or distant traffic, the feeling of air against your skin, the scent of flowers or morning dew, and even the taste of fresh air. Because this mindful approach transforms a simple walk into a moving meditation that reduces cortisol levels and increases present moment awareness. The rhythmic nature of walking creates a bilateral stimulation effect similar to EMDR therapy, helping to process stress and emotional tension while generating new ideas and creative solutions to challenges you're facing. Use the weather adaptation strategy. Develop different movement routines for various weather conditions so that external circumstances never derail your morning habit. On sunny days, take your movement outdoors for vitamin D synthesis and mood elevation. On rainy days, create an indoor routine with bodyweight exercises or yoga. And on cold days, use high-intensity movements that generate internal heat and make you feel invincible against the elements. Research from Harvard Medical School demonstrates that people who exercise in the morning show improved cognitive function throughout the day, with enhanced memory consolidation, better decision-making abilities, and increased creativity compared to those who remain sedentary in the morning hours. For those ready to embrace more intense morning workouts, the key lies in understanding that intensity is relative to your current fitness level and gradually building complexity and challenge over time. Tip: start with bodyweight exercises that require no equipment but deliver maximum impact. Squats activate your largest muscle groups and flood your system with growth hormone. Push-ups engage your core and upper body while building functional strength. Planks develop core stability that supports better posture throughout your day. And burpees, though challenging, provide a full-body cardiovascular workout that can be completed in just a few minutes. The hormonal cascade triggered by high-intensity morning movement is particularly powerful, increasing testosterone and growth hormone production while simultaneously reducing cortisol levels, creating an optimal internal environment for fat burning, muscle building, and mental clarity. Use the exercise snacking approach. Break your morning movement into small, digestible portions throughout your morning routine. Do squats while your breakfast cooks. Perform push-ups during commercial breaks. If you watch morning news, or hold a plank while your shower water warms up, because these micro workouts accumulate into significant benefits while feeling manageable and sustainable. The neurological impact of morning movement extends to brain-derived neurotrophic factor, BDNF, often called miracle grow for the brain, which increases during and after exercise, promoting the growth of new neural connections and improving your brain's ability to learn, adapt, and remember information throughout the day. Temperature regulation through morning movement serves as a powerful circadian rhythm optimizer. And here's a game-changing tip. End your movement session with 30 seconds of cold exposure, whether through a cold shower, stepping outside in minimal clothing, or splashing cold water on your face and wrists, because this thermal contrast accelerates recovery, boosts norepinephrine levels for sustained focus, and strengthens your nervous system's resilience to stress. The metabolic benefits of morning movement create a phenomenon called metabolic flexibility, where your body becomes more efficient at switching between burning carbohydrates and fats for fuel, leading to more stable energy levels and reduced cravings for processed foods throughout the day. Pro tip: create a movement menu with 5 to 7 different options ranging from gentle to intense. Then choose based on your energy level, available time, and what your body is craving that particular morning, because this variety prevents boredom and ensures you're always moving in a way that serves your current needs rather than forcing yourself through a rigid routine that may not match your daily energy fluctuations. The social and emotional benefits of morning movement compound over time, as people who exercise regularly report higher self-esteem, better relationships, and increased confidence in handling life's challenges, partly because physical accomplishments early in the day create a success mindset that influences how you approach other areas of your life. Movement also serves as a natural antidepressant, with studies showing that morning exercise can be as effective as medication for treating mild to moderate depression, thanks to its ability to increase serotonin, dopamine, and norepinephrine, while reducing inflammatory markers that contribute to mood disorders. Trick: use music strategically by creating different playlists for different types of movement. Upbeat, high-energy songs for intense workouts, rhythmic, steady beats for walking or jogging, and calming, flowing music for stretching or yoga, because music activates the brain's reward centers and can increase your exercise performance by up to 15% while making the experience more enjoyable and sustainable. The digestive benefits of morning movement are often overlooked but incredibly significant, as physical activity stimulates peristalsis, the wave-like muscle contractions that move food through your digestive system, helping to establish regular bowel movements and improving nutrient absorption from your breakfast and subsequent meals throughout the day. Tip: time your movement before eating for maximum fat-burning benefits, as exercising in a fasted state encourages your body to use stored fat for fuel. But keep a small snack nearby in case you feel lightheaded, and always listen to your body signals rather than pushing through genuine distress. The immune system receives a significant boost from regular morning movement, with moderate exercise increasing the production of antibodies and white blood cells while improving the circulation of immune cells throughout your body. But here's a crucial insight: consistency matters more than intensity for immune benefits. Track your energy levels for 2 weeks while implementing morning movement, rating your energy on a scale of 1 to 10 at different times throughout the day, because this objective data will provide compelling evidence of morning movement's impact and motivate you to maintain the habit even when motivation wanes. The cognitive benefits extend to improved executive function, with morning movers showing better ability to plan, organize, multitask, and make decisions under pressure, skills that are particularly valuable in today's fast-paced, demanding world where mental agility often determines professional and personal success. Flexibility and mobility improvements from morning stretching and movement create a foundation for injury prevention and pain reduction throughout your day, particularly important for those who spend long hours sitting at desks or engaging in repetitive motions. Trick: focus on functional movements that mirror activities you'll perform throughout your day. If you sit at a desk, emphasize hip flexor stretches and thoracic spine mobility. If you lift heavy objects, prioritize squat patterns and shoulder stability. And if you're on your feet all day, concentrate on calf stretches and ankle mobility to prevent fatigue and discomfort. Chapter 4. Cold showers. Train your mind. Picture this. You're standing before your shower, hand hovering over the temperature control, and something inside you whispers, turn it all the way to cold. Your body immediately rebels. Every fiber of your being screams against this idea. Your mind conjures up 1,000 excuses. It's too early. You'll catch a cold. It's unnecessary suffering. But here's the profound truth that changes everything. This moment, this exact hesitation, is where your transformation begins. Cold exposure isn't just about shocking your system awake. It's about forging an unbreakable mind that can conquer any challenge life throws your way. The ancient Spartans understood something we've forgotten in our comfort-obsessed world. They deliberately sought discomfort because they knew it was the forge where character is hammered into steel. When you step under that cascade of cold water, you're not just taking a shower. You're entering a sacred ritual of mental conditioning that separates the extraordinary from the ordinary. Every droplet that hits your skin is a teacher. Every gasp of shock is a lesson in self-mastery, and every second you endure is proof that you control your mind, not the other way around. Your nervous system doesn't distinguish between types of stress, whether it's cold water, a difficult conversation, or a career setback. It all triggers the same fight or flight response. This is your secret weapon. When you train yourself to remain calm and controlled under the assault of cold water, you're literally rewiring your brain's response to stress. You're teaching your nervous system that you can handle anything, that discomfort is temporary, and that your will is stronger than your immediate impulses. Scientists have discovered that cold exposure activates the sympathetic nervous system and increases norepinephrine levels. But what they're really measuring is the birth of mental toughness. Here's the trick that transforms amateurs into warriors. Start with warm water and gradually turn it colder while focusing on your breathing. Don't shock yourself into panic. That defeats the purpose. Instead, breathe deeply and deliberately as the temperature drops. Count your breaths, not the seconds. This isn't about endurance. It's about maintaining mental clarity while your body wants to panic. The moment you can control your breathing under cold water is the moment you realize you can control your mind under any pressure. Your breath becomes your anchor, your focal point, your declaration that you choose your response to every circumstance. The real magic happens in that space between the stimulus and your response. Cold water hits your skin. That's the stimulus. Your body wants to jump out immediately. That's the automatic response. But you have a choice in that microsecond gap, and that choice is where your power lives. You can either react like an animal driven by instinct, or you can respond like a conscious being who directs their own experience. Every morning you choose to stay under that cold water, you're practicing the most important skill in life, the ability to pause, breathe, and choose your response rather than being controlled by your reactions. The physiological benefits are staggering, but they pale in comparison to the mental transformation. Your immune system strengthens, your metabolism increases, inflammation decreases, and your circulation improves dramatically. But the real prize is the unshakable confidence that comes from doing hard things voluntarily. When you've willingly subjected yourself to intense discomfort every morning, the challenges of your day feel manageable by comparison. That difficult client meeting? You've already proven you can handle discomfort. That intimidating presentation? You've already demonstrated you can push through resistance. That challenging workout? You've already shown you can embrace what others avoid. Here's the advanced technique that separates masters from beginners. Use the cold water as a meditation. Instead of gritting your teeth and enduring, lean into the sensation. Study it. Observe how your body responds. Notice where you feel the cold most intensely. Pay attention to how your breathing changes. Become curious about the experience rather than resistant to it. This transforms suffering into exploration, discomfort into discovery. You're not just surviving the cold. You're learning from it, growing through it, becoming intimate with your own capacity for resilience. The mental framework shift is everything. Most people approach cold showers as something to get through, to survive, to endure until it's over. But warriors approach it as something to master, to embrace, to extract every ounce of growth from. You're not suffering, you're training. You're not being punished, you're being forged. You're not enduring discomfort, you're expanding your comfort zone. This reframe transforms the entire experience from something you dread into something you crave, from a necessary evil into a chosen strength-building exercise. Your self-talk during those cold moments shapes your entire day. Instead of "this is terrible" or "I hate this," train yourself to think, "I am growing stronger," or "I choose this challenge," or "this is making me unstoppable." Your internal dialogue becomes your programming, and cold water gives you the perfect laboratory to install empowering beliefs. Every positive thought you maintain, while uncomfortable, becomes a neural pathway that serves you in every other area of life. You're literally programming resilience into your subconscious mind. The ripple effect into your daily life is where the real transformation reveals itself. After weeks of voluntary discomfort, you notice that criticism doesn't sting as sharply, that setbacks don't derail you as easily, that challenges excite you rather than overwhelm you. You've developed what psychologists call stress inoculation, the ability to remain calm and effective under pressure because you've trained in conditions far more intense than most daily stressors. Your cold shower becomes your daily dose of courage, your morning injection of mental toughness, your proof that you can do hard things. The key to long-term success lies in progression and consistency. Start with 30 seconds of cold water at the end of your regular shower. Focus entirely on controlling your breathing. In through your nose for 4 counts, hold for 4, out through your mouth for 6. This activates your parasympathetic nervous system and proves to your body that you're in control. Gradually increase the duration as your comfort with discomfort grows. The goal isn't to suffer longer. It's to remain calmer for longer periods while exposed to stress. Create a ritual around your cold exposure that makes it sacred rather than dreadful. Set an intention before you turn the water cold. Perhaps, "I choose growth over comfort," or "I am building unbreakable confidence." Have a mantra ready for the most intense moments. Something like, "I am stronger than this sensation," or "This is temporary. My strength is permanent." End with a moment of gratitude for your willingness to do what others won't. This ritual transforms a simple shower into a powerful ceremony of self-development. The compound effect of daily cold exposure creates a momentum that carries into every area of your life. Your morning victory over discomfort sets a tone of triumph that influences every subsequent decision. You've already proven you can do hard things before most people are even awake, which means everything else feels achievable. You walk into your day with the quiet confidence of someone who has already conquered their biggest challenge. You carry yourself differently, speak with more authority, and approach obstacles with curiosity rather than anxiety. Remember, the cold water isn't your enemy, it's your teacher. It's showing you that discomfort is not dangerous, that you're far stronger than you imagine, and that your mind can override your body's protests when you decide to take control. Every morning you step under that cold cascade. You're voting for the person you want to become. You're declaring that growth matters more than comfort, that strength matters more than ease, and that you're willing to pay the price for an extraordinary life. The ultimate truth about cold showers is this: they're not really about the cold at all. They're about discovering that you have far more control over your experience than you ever imagined. They're about learning that your initial reaction to any situation is just a starting point, not a final destination. They're about proving to yourself, one shocking morning at a time, that you can choose courage over comfort, growth over stagnation, and power over helplessness. The cold water becomes your daily reminder that you're not a victim of your circumstances. You are the author of your response to them, and that response determines everything. Chapter 5, Journal Like a Warrior. Listen up, champion. Your mind is a battlefield, And every morning you have the choice to either let chaos reign or take command like the warrior you were born to be. The moment you wake up, your thoughts are scattered like leaves in a storm, pulled in 1,000 directions by yesterday's regrets, today's anxieties, and tomorrow's uncertainties. But here's where the magic happens. When you put pen to paper and start journaling like a warrior, you're not just writing words, you're forging your destiny one sentence at a time. Think of your journal as your war room, your strategic headquarters where you plan your victories and learn from your battles. This isn't about pretty handwriting or perfect grammar. This is about raw, honest communication with the most important person in your life, you. The first weapon in your journaling arsenal is goal documentation. And I'm not talking about vague wishes or distant dreams that float around in your head like morning mist. Warriors write down specific, measurable targets that make their pulse quicken and their determination surge. When you physically write, "I will complete my first marathon in under 4 hours by December," something powerful happens in your brain. You're making a contract with yourself, carved in ink and sealed with intention. Your subconscious mind doesn't distinguish between what's real and what's vividly imagined. So when you write your goals with the passion and precision of a warrior preparing for battle, you're literally rewiring your neural pathways for success. The act of writing activates the reticular activating system in your brain, that incredible filter that suddenly makes you notice opportunities, resources, and connections that were always there, but invisible to your unfocused mind. Every morning when you write down your goals, you're sending a clear message to the universe and to yourself. This is what I'm committed to achieving, and I will move heaven and earth to make it happen. But goals without celebration are like victories without acknowledgement. They lose their power to fuel your future success. This is where documenting your wins becomes absolutely crucial. And I mean every win, no matter how small it might seem to others. Did you choose a salad over fast food yesterday? Write it down and celebrate it like the victory it is. Did you have that difficult conversation you've been avoiding? Document it with pride. Did you wake up on time and resist the snooze button? That's warrior behavior right there, and it deserves recognition in your journal. The psychological principle here is profound. What gets measured gets repeated, and what gets celebrated gets accelerated. When you consistently acknowledge your wins, you're training your brain to look for success patterns, to recognize your own strength and capability, and to build unstoppable momentum. Your confidence isn't built on other people's approval or external validation. It's built on the undeniable evidence of your own progress, documented day after day in your own handwriting. The third pillar of warrior journaling is extracting lessons from every experience, turning your pain into power and your setbacks into comebacks. Life will knock you down. That's not a possibility. It's a guarantee, but warriors don't just get back up. They analyze what happened, extract the wisdom, and become stronger than before. When you write about your challenges, failures, and disappointments, you're doing something that separates winners from everyone else. You're mining gold from garbage. The project that didn't go as planned? There's a lesson about preparation or communication hidden in there. That relationship that ended badly? There's wisdom about boundaries or self-worth waiting to be discovered. That business idea that flopped. There's insight about market research or timing that will serve your next venture. Warriors understand that failure isn't the opposite of success. It's the raw material of success. And journaling is how you refine that raw material into pure wisdom. The magic of morning journaling goes far beyond goal setting and reflection. It's about creating mental clarity in a world designed to keep you confused and scattered. When you sit down with your journal first thing in the morning, before checking your phone or engaging with the outside world, you're creating a sacred space where your authentic voice can emerge. This is where you separate your true desires from the expectations others have placed on you, where you distinguish between what you actually want and what you think you should want. The act of writing slows down your thinking, forces you to articulate your thoughts clearly, and reveals patterns you might miss in the rush of daily life. You'll start noticing themes in your worries, recognizing triggers for your stress, and identifying the activities and relationships that truly energize you versus those that drain your life force. Over time, your journal becomes more than just a book. It becomes a treasure trove of personal intelligence, a database of your growth, dreams, struggles, and victories. Imagine looking back 6 months from now and reading about the challenges that seemed insurmountable today, seeing how far you've traveled on your journey of becoming. Your journal will show you that you're stronger than you realized, more resilient than you imagined, and more capable than you ever dreamed. It becomes proof of your warrior spirit, evidence that you don't just survive life's battles. You learn from them, grow through them, and emerge more powerful than before. Every page becomes a testament to your commitment to excellence, your refusal to settle for mediocrity, and your unwavering dedication to becoming the best version of yourself. So grab that pen like it's your sword, open that journal like it's your battle plan, and start writing like your life depends on it, because in many ways, it does. Your future self is counting on you to document this journey, to extract wisdom from every experience, and to build the momentum that will carry you to heights you can barely imagine today. This is your time, this is your moment, and this is how warriors begin their conquest of another victorious day. Chapter 6. Feed your mind. Read or listen. When you crack open a book or press play on that podcast in the morning, you're not just consuming content. You're literally rewiring the neural pathways in your brain, creating new connections that didn't exist the moment before. Think about it. While everyone else is scrolling through social media feeds filled with complaints and negativity, you're deliberately choosing to flood your mind with wisdom, insights, and powerful ideas that successful people have spent years, sometimes decades, perfecting. This isn't just reading. This is mental architecture, and you're the architect designing the blueprint for how you'll think, feel, and act for the entire day ahead. The magic happens in those first few pages when your mind is still fresh, still malleable, before the world starts demanding your attention and pulling you in 1,000 different directions. Your brain is like a sponge in the morning, absorbing everything at a deeper level because cortisol levels are naturally higher, making you more alert and focused than you'll be at any other time of day. Here's the secret that high achievers understand. Consistency beats intensity every single time. You don't need to read an entire book in one sitting. That's actually counterproductive because your brain needs time to process and integrate new information. Instead, commit to just 10 to 15 pages every morning and watch how this small habit compounds into massive transformation over time. When you read about someone who built $1 million business from scratch, your subconscious mind starts believing that you can do it too. When you listen to a podcast about overcoming obstacles, you're programming your mind to see challenges as opportunities rather than roadblocks. This is called neuroplasticity, your brain's incredible ability to reorganize itself and form new neural connections throughout your life. And morning is when this process is most powerful. Choose your content strategically like you're selecting fuel for a high-performance race car. Biographies of successful people will show you that they face the same doubts, fears, and setbacks you're dealing with right now, but they push through anyway. Personal development books give you specific tools and frameworks for improving your mindset, productivity, and relationships. Business and entrepreneurship content expands your thinking about what's possible in your career and finances. The key is variety. Rotate between different types of content, so you're constantly challenging your brain with new perspectives and ideas. Keep a small notebook nearby and jot down one powerful quote or insight that resonates with you, because writing activates different parts of your brain and helps cement the learning deeper into your memory. The transformation isn't just intellectual, it's emotional and spiritual too. When you start your day by feeding your mind instead of your anxieties, you're setting an entirely different emotional tone for everything that follows. You'll find yourself more optimistic, more creative, more solution-focused throughout the day because you've primed your brain with empowering thoughts instead of the usual stream of worries and distractions. This habit creates what psychologists call a positive feedback loop. The better you feel about yourself and your potential, the more motivated you become to take action on your goals, which leads to better results, which reinforces your positive self-image, and the cycle continues upward. Remember, every expert was once a beginner, every master was once a disaster, and every success story started with someone just like you deciding to invest in their mind first thing in the morning. one page at a time. Chapter 7. Dominate your first task. The morning deep work revolution. Listen up, champion. The moment your eyes crack open, you're standing at the crossroads of mediocrity and mastery. That phone sitting on your nightstand? It's not your friend. It's a vampire ready to drain your mental energy before you've even gotten out of bed. The first decision you make when you wake up sets the tone for everything that follows. And I'm here to tell you that checking your phone is the decision of someone who's already surrendered their power to the chaos of the world. Your mission isn't hiding in your Instagram feed or buried under a pile of emails that seemed urgent at midnight, but are actually just noise. Your mission is that one crucial task, that mountain you've been avoiding, that project that could change everything if you just gave it your undivided attention. The morning hours aren't just time, they're liquid gold, and most people are pouring that gold down the drain by immediately plugging themselves into the matrix of notifications, updates, and other people's agendas. Here's what separates the warriors from the wanderers. Warriors understand that the first 3 hours of their day belong to them and their most important work. During these sacred hours, your brain is operating at peak performance. Your willpower tank is full. Your focus is laser sharp, and your creative energy is at its absolute maximum. This is when you tackle the work that requires deep thinking, the projects that demand your best self, the tasks that move the needle in your life. But here's the kicker. The moment you check your phone, you're essentially taking a sledgehammer to this beautiful, pristine mental state. The science backs this up completely. When you grab your phone first thing in the morning, you're flooding your brain with dopamine hits from meaningless content, training your mind to crave constant stimulation and making it nearly impossible to focus on challenging, important work later. You're also immediately putting yourself in reactive mode, responding to whatever the world throws at you, instead of proactively pursuing your own goals. It's like showing up to a boxing match and letting your opponent throw the first 50 punches while you stand there defenseless. Instead, picture this. You wake up, and instead of reaching for that digital leash, you reach for your purpose. You've identified the night before what your most important task is. Maybe it's writing that book that's been burning inside you. Maybe it's building that business plan that could change your family's future. Maybe it's learning that skill that will take your career to the next level. Whatever it is, you attack it with the ferocity of someone who understands that this morning represents a fresh start, a new opportunity to become the person you're meant to be. The beautiful thing about dominating your first task is that it creates what I call the victory cascade. When you complete something meaningful before most people have even had their coffee, you're not just getting work done. You're building unshakable confidence. You're proving to yourself that you're the kind of person who follows through, who prioritizes what matters, who has the discipline to delay gratification. This confidence then bleeds into everything else you do throughout the day. You walk taller, you think clearer, you make better decisions, and you approach challenges with the mindset of someone who's already won today. But let's talk strategy, because motivation without a system is just temporary emotion. First, you need to prepare for victory the night before. This means identifying your most important task before you go to bed, setting up your workspace so it's ready for action, and removing any barriers that might derail you in the morning. Put your phone in another room. Seriously, treat it like the distraction weapon it is. If you need an alarm, buy an actual alarm clock. Your phone has no business being within arm's reach when you wake up. Second, understand the difference between urgent and important. Urgent tasks scream for attention, but rarely move your life forward. Important tasks whisper, but they're the ones that create lasting change. Your morning deep work session should be reserved exclusively for important tasks. The kind of work that, if you did it consistently for a year, would completely transform your circumstances. This might be uncomfortable at first, because important work is usually harder and requires more mental energy than responding to emails or scrolling through social media. Third, protect your morning like a fortress. This means having difficult conversations with family members about your morning routine. It means saying no to early meetings that aren't absolutely critical. And it means being ruthless about anything that tries to invade your deep work time. Remember, every time you make an exception, you're not just losing that morning. You're weakening your commitment muscle and making it easier to make exceptions in the future. The magic happens when you realize that you don't need to find time for your most important work. You need to make time for it. And the morning is where you make that time sacred and untouchable. When you consistently start your day by conquering your most challenging task, you're not just being productive, you're rewiring your identity. You're becoming someone who prioritizes growth over comfort, someone who leads their life instead of letting life lead them. Think about the compound effect of this approach. If you dedicate just 2 hours every morning to your most important work, that's 10 hours a week, over 500 hours a year. That's more than 12 full work weeks dedicated to what matters most. Imagine what you could create, build, or become with 500 hours of focused, high-quality work on your biggest priorities. While everyone else is starting their day in reactive mode, overwhelmed and scattered, you're building something meaningful, something that will outlast the temporary dopamine hits of social media and the false urgency of email. Your morning routine is your declaration of war against mediocrity. It's your daily vote for the person you want to become. Every morning you choose deep work over digital distraction. You're choosing growth over stagnation, purpose over entertainment, and your future self over your current comfort. This isn't just about productivity. This is about taking control of your life and refusing to let the world's chaos dictate your priorities. The truth is, most people will never do this. They'll keep waking up and immediately surrendering their power to their phones, to other people's agendas, to the urgent but unimportant tasks that keep them busy but never fulfilled. But you're not most people. You understand that champions are made in the morning, that legends are built in the quiet hours before the world wakes up, and that the difference between dreaming and achieving is what you do in those first precious hours of each day. So, tomorrow morning, when you wake up, remember this moment. Remember the fire you feel right now, the commitment you're making to yourself. Don't reach for your phone. Reach for your purpose. Don't check your notifications. Check your mission. Don't start your day reacting to the world. Start it by creating the world you want to live in. Your future self is counting on you to make the right choice. And that choice happens every single morning when you decide whether you're going to dominate your first task or let your first task dominate you. I hope this gave you something to think about today. Dr. Julian Vance has been with you all the way. And always remember, keep learning. Keep pushing forward. Who stops reading, stops growing. Goodbye.